Hello everybody and welcome to a new Let's Play of Oxygen Not Included. I think this is a good time to do a Let's Play of Oxygen Not Included because the developers have stated at this point that they're not going to do another major content update for quite a while and that they're going to be focusing on quality of life changes. So it's very likely that to get all the content for the foreseeable future, we won't have to do any resets of the world, start a new world, do anything like that, and that the patch that we're on right now is just going to be updated and our worlds will be able to update with it. And so this seems like a good time to be able to just have a long stretch where Oxygen Not Included isn't going to change in a huge way. I mean, there are going to be important things added that improve the polish of the game, but nothing that you're really going to be itching to play with immediately. And so without that temptation of abandoning your world and starting a new one to get the new stuff, I think this will be a pretty long and productive run. So, we have 3 new dupes on a colony that I'm calling the Artemis Protocol, for no other reason than it sounds cool. We have Stinky, our miner. We have Nisbet, the brains of the operation, and we have Bert, our construction expert, all fresh from the printing pod, ready to go to work. And our map looks pretty good. We've got a lot of water up here, a lot more water around here. We have lots of oxygen. This is a vacuum, but all this is fairly breathable air. We even have, we have some good pockets of oxygen here, and decent amount here. This is just not diffused, actually. This is not that much, but lots of oxygen, lots of algae that I can see, lots of water. The metal actually maybe will take a little bit of work to get to, but overall pretty nice. Looking at the temperatures, okay, so we're kind of off-center here. We're actually a lot. Like the center of this biome is probably around here. So that's a little bit tricky, especially since naturally that kind of makes you want to not have your base be centered here, but that messes with my OCD, so I think I'll center my base here anyways and just try and make it work. But yeah, I think this is looking pretty solid. So let's do some housekeeping before we start off. Stinky unfortunately has -3 in strength. So we're just going to take him off of every tidying, supplying, storage job. And we're going to say mainly he just should be spending his time digging. Bird is just tinkering construction, so we'll prioritize those. Nisbet the brains. I'll do research and I guess cooking if cooking shows up. I'm probably not going to be cooking for a while, but might as well put that here now. And, oh, one other thing I want to change. I like to enable proximity whenever I do this because I found that sometimes their pathfinding or their ordering of tasks can be kind of bad when you don't enable proximity. There's some downsides to this, and maybe I toggle it off if a dupe gets themselves into trouble, but otherwise I think this is a pretty good thing to turn on. Other than that, one thing I'm going to change is I'm going to add a bunch new schedules. I found that this really cuts down on the number of facilities that you need to make. And particularly when in regards to latrines. And I think that having the different schedules makes things flow pretty smoothly. And so let's start off by just having them all be all work, and then I can go from there. I'm not going to have any bath time for them right now because we don't have any showers or any way for them to bathe, so it seems a little bit wasteful. And 3 blocks of sleep a night also seems just a little bit too luxurious. Certainly at the start. I don't really. I'm going to work them a little bit to death here. They're in a do-or-die situation. They have to understand this is game time. This is serious. We can't have any slackers. People trying to get a full night's sleep. No. This is crunch time, and crunch time means you only get 2 blocks of downtime, and means that you're only going to get 2 blocks of bedtime either. At least for now. Eventually things will improve. We'll be nice to these guys eventually, but for now. They better work their butts off. So I'm going to create all these schedules. I'm not quite going to move the dupes to these schedules yet because we actually wouldn't be getting a full day's work out of them. But for the moment, we'll leave them here, and then as time progresses, we'll shift them down to these lower schedules. We should also turn off the alarms here because that'll get annoying quite quickly. I don't have alarms on. Okay, perfect. On any of these other ones. So, let's plan out the base a little bit. We need to access some water because we need to get a latrine with a hand washing station up and going. So we want to get there. And I actually kind of like just using areas that are already clear for things when you can. So I think we're going to make this a latrine area, and we'll clear out this as well. And I also like, this is a little bit simplistic, but I kind of like the symmetry of just having a 16 wide room here centered around the printing pod. And then we'll have doors here. And then I like having 3 wide sort of columns for stairs. 3 is convenient because it means that you can fit in, you can fit in a stairwell or ladder, a fireman's pole, and a vacuum tube running up and down your base without having to displace anything. So I like the 3 wide. I also think just for air transfer, it works pretty well. So we're gonna stick with that. And I think for now, I'm just actually going to set up the initial barracks here. We'll set up a latrine here, and we want to access this water. Oh, and the water is a little bit overpressurized, as we can see. It's 1,300 here, 1,300 here, 1,000 here. So that's quite balanced out. I need to unpause to do that, but it's definitely a little bit. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, on the net it looks a little bit overpressured, so I don't want water to spill out into this area. So as we dig down, let's clear out a little bit of this area, and I guess I'll just set up the pitch a pump right here. Well, let's actually dig out a little bit more. Maybe just like this, and we'll set the pitcher pump right here. And as we do that, let's make sure we don't flood this area, and we'll dig down a little bit like this and have this as like a lip to prevent stuff from flowing over. But let's set up the pitcher pump right here. I think this ought to work, and go from there. So I'm going to uproot these plants and clear out these. I also want to grab any metal that I can, because actually, yeah, I do not have much in the way of metal, that's right. We will need to eventually get up to these areas and dig out this metal. Actually, there's a lot of metal up here, so once we get up here, we're kind of good. Let's get those dug out when we can. And yeah, let's start her up. So they're going to go to work, and as we get the sandstone, we're going to tell them that these actually should be ladders. And we're going to deprioritize that. Let's also have them set up some cots in here. That looks good. And more ladder up here. Looks good. Where do we want to set up research is a question. I don't quite know yet. Put up an outhouse here. Medicine, get a wash basin. 3 plus door. This seems fine. And we'll also get a little bit of tile right there, and let's slap a pneumatic door here and one here as well. So this will enclose this area and make this a bedroom and this a latrine, or this a barracks and this a latrine. Okay, so this is not overflowed. That looks good. I think we're set here. We'll put the pitcher pump right here for now. And clear out this. And I think we also want to... So this did not overflow. I don't think it will. I don't think this displaces any water. So we will just kind of dig out some area right here to set up our research. And this will just be a little temporary area. That way we can get stuff done. But, yeah. Ladder... Get a ladder going right here. Let's delete that. And we can have this ladder go the rest of the way down. That's fine. Yeah, and we'll just set up a little research area here. These doors might as well be open. And how are we doing on schedule? So, looking pretty good so far. We can shift them all down to lower schedules. Her bladder is at 46%. His is at 46%. His is at 42%. So, Bert, you have volunteered to work the longest today, simply for that reason. And we will move Bert down right here. And then we're going to have, I guess, Stinky and Nisbet. Just like this. Perfect. And we'll probably need to micromanage this a little bit so that they don't have something go wrong this first day. But other than that, should be good. So, how much metal do we have? We do not have enough for our research setup right here just quite yet. Let's set this to direction left. And let's also increase the priority of these. That way they get taken care of sooner if something goes wrong with them. Oh, some more metal right here. Let's dig that out. Not a lot of ore. These are not solid blocks of metal here. So that's something to keep in mind. And you know what, let's just cancel those for now. And focus on getting up to this other metal over here. And also perhaps across to here. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's dig across here and grab up this metal as well. We'll need to dig through some of the sand. Sand's going to be a little bit of a problem for a lot of this. But we can do it. I believe in us. I believe in the Artemis protocol. Alright, so where are people at on bladder? You're at 68%. Stinky is at 68%, and Bird is like 4 points behind you. That's perfect. Keep digging. Oh, we will need to set up another door here now that I've dug through this. That's fine. Okay, so let's start setting up some basics here. We're not going to make this into like a full room right now because it really doesn't justify that. It's just going to be a temporary thing for the moment. But we want our little hamster wheel. We want this. So where are people at? Bladder 80%, 79, 75. Okay. Keep at it, keep at it. Power, set up a battery, and a wire to connect it all up. There's our rudimentary research station. I like getting the research up very quickly because it turns out to be pretty important to a lot of the early game stuff you want to do. Farms and improving your morale and all sorts of things of that nature. So, schedule-wise, Nisbet is about to go on break. That's fine. I think we are going to first have Bert take a little break here. We're going to move him here, and we're going to say that Bert gets a block of downtime coming up right here. He'll use the latrine. And then we will say, no more downtime for you, Bert. This is work time. Alright, looks good. And then Nisbet will go to the bathroom. Where are you at in the schedule, Nisbet? Okay, you're almost there. Now, take care of your bladder first, because we're going to have Stinky do it next. Where are you at, Stinky? 96%. Okay. Well, once you're down with that block, let's get you. Stinky, Stinky, come here, boy. Let's get you going over here. All right. And Stinky, in case you don't have the proper incentive to go to the bathroom now. There you go. All right. So we've managed that, and they should be good going forward. And now, so we only need to build this one outhouse as a result. We might build more later just because we don't want to deal with the polluted dirt right away. But this really cuts down on the number of facilities that we have to build in this opening stage. It also means that we're always going to have constantly some work getting done. And if we have any loud sleepers, they're going to be on different schedules, and so they're not going to interrupt other people as they sleep, which will be very nice. So let's go back and fix Stinky's schedule. And Bert's schedule is good again. Okay. Rooms are set up. Perfect. So now they should get a little bit of a morale bonus when they go to sleep. And we're going to focus on getting our research up here. The next thing I think we want to really work on is getting an area set up for oxygen, an area set up for farms. And I'm thinking how I want to do that. I think I want to set up a meal hall as well pretty early on. We're going to have somebody researching and getting their work done on getting us jobs. A jobs board is going to be pretty important. But other than that, not a lot of huge priorities. This is on normal difficulty, so we should be good to go on food for a while. I don't see any super glaring problems going forward. We have a decent number of muck roots around the map here. Also, this mealwood is ready to be harvested, so let's also work on getting a ladder down here and get that free food. Perfect. We do want these to be a bit of a priority, though. So, priority 6. Set this to 6. And the only other thing I can really think of that we want to do right now is sweep this area before it gets germs all over it somehow. And so we're just going to set up a little bit of storage here. Right here's fine. We should be all set to go for the early game now. The very early game, at least. We have our latrines, we've got our research going so we can get our food up and online. Research. Very first thing I want, jobs. I want them to start getting their skills up. Other things are important, but getting the skills up sooner rather than later I think is the most important thing. Why are you tired? You're not tired. You have stamina of 98%. You look tired. Huh. That seems weird. She looks tired, but her stamina's full, so I'm not sure what's going on. Priorities. Nisbet should be doing the research. Not Stinky. Not sure why she's out of it. But as long as the research is getting done at this point, that's fine. Stinky can always use a little bit more of more help here in the intelligence department. It's not a bad thing. So, I want to set up a grand mess hall at some point. I also just want to sweep all this. Sweep only, all, and we will say move everything in this bathroom into storage, just so I don't have germs somehow getting out of there and around my base. I think we'll be good to go. This is storing not pincher peppers, but that's fine. Perfect. Okay. Looking good. I am going to kick Stinky off of this at some point and tell Nisbet to come down here and do research. And that should help things out. We don't really want Stinky doing these tasks. He's got pretty poor carrying capacity. We'd rather that he be digging stuff out. So I suppose it's actually just dig out a lot of this metal. Seems like a decent use of Stinky at the moment. Metal all day. Get me all of that metal. And might as well dig out this. And we'll leave this for now. The metal will be useful. There's other things I'm going to want to build. I'm going to want to build a supercomputer at some point here. And that's going to be pretty important. But yeah, everything's set up for this first episode, I think. Got the latrine, got the bedroom. Jobs on the way. I'm liking it. Alright, I'm going to cut things here, and we will move on to the next episode in a bit.